Hey, welcome back to the Tuesday show. There's been some movement in terms of players and their teams.
Yep.
In fact, part of it just happened an hour ago, as far as I know. Just recently. I just read about it, like, right now. But first part of it was that Evil Geniuses parted ways with Ari Flo Weintraub.
Right.
Why did he name himself Flo anyway? I've never actually asked him that.
That's a really good question.
It's a really weird name.
And the way he spells it, too. Which
F-L-O-E?
Which is lowercase f,
right.
capital L, lowercase o, uppercase E.
I mean, Flo could be a name. It's not a terribly uncommon name for a Jewish woman. So, I'm not kidding. It's
just
true.
Makes me think of car.
Maybe it was like his aunt.
Makes me think of car insurance ads. I don't know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate now.
Yeah.
Anyway, they let him go, or he left. The article and the tweet doesn't say. He just said, "I am no longer a part of Evil Geniuses. I wish them and my previous teammates all the best in the future." And I checked the Evil Geniuses website, and he's not listed as a player there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they also released an official report there where they were basically just saying that, I mean, they did kind of imply that Flo just hasn't been having the same kind of tournament placings that, his teammates have and such, so...
Yeah, Cool Gray AJ, who said... Ari is without a doubt an extremely popular figure in the fighting game community, and his stream is a common bookmark for most of us at EG. However, as the team's manager, I came to a decision to improve the team's overall performance, and I've come to the decision that this is a change that needs to be made. So that is a pretty heavy implication that it's addition by subtraction, which is kind of rough.
Right. But I mean, to be fair, Flo hasn't been traveling to as many tournaments as much and stuff like that, and, I can't. He became the Bashi. What is there left to do for him? He has so very little else in life that he needs to accomplish now. I feel like he's done it all, right? So.
Well, I'm sorry for him that he's not part of the team anymore. But yeah, I mean, he could have done more with it. He could have traveled more. Obviously the float is a big thing. Everybody knows. Yeah. But even that aside, more tournaments you go to, the higher likelihood of you doing well.
Yeah.
And but he didn't go to very many tournaments. He didn't stream very much either for periods of time. So I definitely feel like he could have done more. But I'm still sad for the guy.
I mean, Flo is a good friend of ours.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
He's totally awesome, dude. And
yes.
We've said it millions and millions of times, man. You will not find a player who's better at games in casual.
Yeah,
than Flo,
he's very talented.
Right? And he picks up on things fast. Like, he
Smart
picked
dude.
up on Killer Instinct super fast and such like that. So, he plays a lot of the games. He plays Blaze Blue a lot. He played Injustice, and he played Soul Calibur. He plays a lot of Vampire Savior. He's good at
all-around
everything.
guy.
Yeah, he's super good. So,
absolutely.
Hopefully, wish him luck, and, hopefully someone else picks him up,
That'd be great. I hope that he would take it a little bit more seriously to increase the chances of that happening. I'd love to see him go to more things and just dedicate himself a little bit more to playing fighting games. He has other stuff going on too, but that would be nice.
Right, for sure.
I just talk about the Evil Geniuses team. I've always felt like they have such an awesome cast of characters.
Yes.
And I don't feel like they've ever really marketed it like that. I've never. I don't know, if I were them, I would play up the fact that we have these very different people who are all really good at fighting games. Yeah, they're all super talented and very good and have had a lot of success, but they're really different people from different parts of the country, from a territory. It's like,
right. Representing different, demographics.
Very different demographics, in terms of ethnicity and orientation and...
I mean,
a lot of different things.
Like, honestly, I think Justin and Ricky are two of the most important people in the community as players. Two of the most important players. PR Broward's right up there. I've always said that if we charged the stream just a while... I mean, you saw him at SCR. They kept showing the camera every once in a while when he was doing the
he's an outgoing guy. He's really funny. He's an ex-party promoter. Like, that was his job.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So that's his personality. But I don't know. So he does a pretty good job of bringing that across at events. Evil Geniuses, I just don't think that they've done that. It seems very weird to me. It seems like a lost opportunity.
Dude, so when we were at SCR, I mean, you showed that video of the crowd, right? You recorded the video of the crowd. You put it up on the UltraChen YouTube channel. You can check that out. And a lot of people's comments was actually like, wow, check out that equipment that Level Up has, because they just have like crazy stuff. And one of them showed all the different camera angles. And one of them was just focused purely on PR Rog, but they couldn't take it away because they had to show the match. And I swear it was like me and Lewis and Brett, who was running the stream, and we were just sitting there watching PR Rog, and we were just like cracking up the entire time. The guy is just, he's pure comedy, dude. I love that guy. I love that guy so much. So yeah.
So anyway, Flo is no longer part of Evil Geniuses. That's part of what has happened with players. The other part, like I said, just happened. Revolution Gaming has now taken on, apparently, Filipino Champ. Ryan Ramirez has joined him.
I wish we could have like the breaking news animation.
Right.
You know, kind of
I
thing.
just read it. And, you know, apparently on that team already are Rico Suave, Tom Brady, Sonic Fox. So there's definitely an NRS kind of flavor to that. But they're expanding a lot. Well, Rico plays everything, but they're expanding a lot, it turns out, to Filipino Champ. He's such a good Marvel player, and even if you don't like the guy, he's a very important player when it comes to the personality. If you don't like him, a lot of people want to see him lose, even if not to win. Some people want to see him win, certainly, but a lot of people want to see him lose. And as a sponsor, that is valuable too. It is.
Yeah.
To have a heel is valuable too, just like having a face. Those are both good things to have, because it means that people are turning in and watching. And you know, maybe if the person does such, you know, just terribly stupid things, then it can reflect negatively on the sponsor. But Filipino Champ tends to not do like that kind of crazy stuff, or okay, fine.
Crossed the line a couple of times.
He's done. He's definitely done that. But that said, he's still valuable to sponsors.
And he learns from it too. He learns from it a little bit. So yeah. But you know, I mean, I always make poker analogies, right? I always like making poker analogies. And Phil Hellmuth, one of the most important people for poker scene, even though he's a heel and everybody hates him, he's so valuable for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's kind of where I put Ryan.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Sure.
You gotta have your super likable guys like Daniel Negreanu, like a Mike Ross, and then you always have to have it, you know. And you always see someone like Filipino Champ beat up on Mike Ross whenever they play. So you know, just adds to the dynamic even more.
Right. You know, you had to expect him to get picked up by somebody. He's such a good player. Just at SCR, just recently, he got second place in Marvel, and you know, very strong.
I can't even imagine that it's going to take long for someone like Chris G to get signed either.
I wouldn't think so.
But I did hear that he is going to final round representing Gamester Gear this weekend. So I'm guessing maybe he's kind of like in a weird free agent period. So he's going to be helping them out. So that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, that'll be kind of cool. So I mean, dude, Gamester Gear makes headphones, right? They found like the best possible person that they could, you know, have them represent him, because Chris G wore like 9 headphones, right? So yeah,
that's a good point. So that's what's going on with players. Anything else to talk about with that?
Not that I can think of right now. So
all right, what else is going on then?
Well, I did want to mention, I know that they announced this. We talked a little bit about it, how Sega Cup is coming up. That is going to be April 26th. And, you know, it's very early to bring this up, but they just announced that, you know, $15,000 prize pool for this event.
Right.
Last year, Level Up ran this at Super Arcade. I believe it's going to be, it is the same place, so it's going to be Super Arcade again. Everyone came from all over the world. I mean, even Fudo came out from Japan to play in this. And $15,000 that goes to all the way through the top 16.
Right, so obviously this is for Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. First place is $3,000. Second place is $2,000. Then $1,600. Then $1,200. $1,100. I'm sorry, $1,000.
Yeah. And the people that's tied.
Oh,
for
those are.
fifth
I was gonna say, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Then tied for 7th is $800. 9th place ties $500.
So that's 4 players.
And then 13th place is $400. So 16 players.
Yep.
Get the payout. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. So shout outs once again to Sega for doing that. I'm sure, you know, hopefully You know, that might be a really good excuse to get Gerald back on the show. You know,
It actually would be.
You can get him to talk about this and talk about some more history.
That
and
would be
stuff
super
like that.
cool.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that's a good idea. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, cool.
And then we haven't had a chance to talk about this.
Yeah, right.
You know, too much. And I don't really know why we haven't, I guess. But ESGN has been going on for a little while. The Fight Night at ESGN TV.
Some of you hopefully just switched over from there and came to here. You know.
Hopefully that happened about an hour ago, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know how long it lasted, but
yeah. But that's been going on. This is the third season now. Now it is on 8 o'clock all week long. Because before it was on during lunchtime. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So
for us on the West Coast.
Exactly right. Yeah. So it aired at I think 8:30 in Germany. Mm-hmm. But for the USA, that means that it was 12:30 Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern time, which isn't the most convenient time slot. I got to see some of it because of that time slot, because that's like when I take a lunch break, like exactly right then usually. So I got to watch quite a bit of it, but a lot of people in North America didn't. People in East Asia, it was tough for them to watch. And frankly speaking, those are bigger areas of fighting gamers than in Europe. So
I mean, it's unfortunate. I know a lot of European fighting game community fans are upset because now that it's on at this really awkward time for them.
Right.
You know, but they do air it like 3 times a day or something, so you know you should be able to catch that.
Yeah,
so.
and they put it up on their YouTube channel pretty quickly afterward too.
Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting that they did make that change. I agree for Europeans. It's frustrating. It sucks that one of the few things that was European and in a European time zone has kind of shifted over to the U.S. But it's a result of them paying attention to not just to the dollar, which is part of the reason certainly that they wanted to get more viewers, but also just paying attention to what the community wants.
Yeah.
There were a couple of threads on Reddit and elsewhere that were actually very constructive, where people, offered them lots of advice about how to make things better. And this is even past the whole, sexist whatever they were doing in the first season.
Things,
yeah. There was a lot of outcry about that in the FGC, as there had been with their other events too, with their other game communities. And so they put the kibosh on that. They're not doing that anymore. Now they've switched the time zone. They're trying to respond to what the community wants.
I mean, I don't remember if we talked about it before, but what do you think of that format? That whole kind of like challenging to try to win more money and such.
I gotta say, I don't like it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
I like the idea of it, but I don't like the execution of it. See, I feel like it's kind of like hard to understand.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Like, I am confused sometimes about exactly what's going on, and people can say the wheel selects them, and now they can be like, I don't want to play. Or,
well, I mean, like,
it's weird.
One of the interesting things, I forgot, I think someone told you this, or I forgot who told me this, but they have Fight Night for other games like Hearthstone and was it StarCraft that they have?
Actually, I don't remember what the third one was for.
But
to be honest.
All those groups, they always just take the money and run.
Do they really?
Yeah, they just don't challenge the other. Like they're always like, yeah, I'll just take the money. Yeah, but for some unknown reason, the fighting game community is the one that's like, no, I'm gonna go. So even like when I think it was last week when Ali Yoon went for it and then he lost to Shin, so he lost a lot of that money that he was building up.
See, this is something that I didn't quite get as far as the rules go. So okay, Ali Yoon had beaten a bunch of people, and each time you beat somebody, you can get more money. If you walk away, you get more money. If you beat everybody, then you get $25,000.
Yeah, that was the max. That's what Allion was going for when he went for Shin. Yeah,
right. But since he lost, how much money did he end up with?
I don't know. I don't know how far you drop back down.
That's my question. Because if you drop back down to like $500 or something, then he's an idiot. But if you drop down to like $10,000 or like $5,000 even.
Dude,
maybe it's a different story.
I mean, that's what's just cool about it, right? I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I wish that they had made that a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure.
I just love what that says about our community. Like, I just love the fact that all the other ones, they haven't been as risky.
He dropped down to $2,000. I gotta talk to this guy because I know he's a smart guy. Look, if I suspect that I have like a 75% chance of beating somebody, and then I'll go to $25,000 or whatever he was before. What everybody seems to know the rules and I don't. So what was he? If he had walked away, how much money would he have gotten?
Look, man, he's a Cammy player, right? I know he was using jury.
I want to do the math.
I know he was doing a lot of jury, but look, he's a Cammy player, right? When you're a Cammy player and you have this much life left and the opponent has that much life left, you get one back throw and then you're just like, you know what? I'm riding the momentum and I'm gonna win, right?
I want to know like what the expected.
Oh man.
$10,000. Okay, so if he had
walked away,
he would have gotten $10,000. That's bizarre to me. I missed that somehow.
FGC, yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
But that's stupid.
I respect him for that.
Really? I think he's an idiot. Man, I gotta talk to him. Why would he do that? You don't give up $15,000 for a match against the Evo champion. Like, again, even if you think that you have a very big advantage, like a huge advantage, it's a $15,000 match.
Yeah, right.
Or it's even more than that, because if he loses, then he goes down to 2,000. Well, anyway, that's very bizarre to me.
Oh, okay, so when he got to Shin, it was only the $10,000 match. It wasn't the $25,000 they're saying.
Oh.
So if he walked, he would have got $5,000.
So he would have doubled his money.
Yeah, if he won, he would have got $10,000. If he walked, he would have got $5,000. If he lost, he dropped down to $2,000.
Okay, yeah, I just would have taken the 5. Walked away. For sure.
You rock, Alioun. I respect that decision, dude. I respect that decision.
Well, it was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
One of the critiques is that it has been a lot of Cammy players. There are 3 Cammy players there.
Right.
But Alioun played a whole list of whatever.
Jury.
He played Jury, for example. He did pretty well with her. He played Yang. I didn't go quite as well, but he tried it out.
Yeah, I heard his Jury was awesome.
Jury was really good.
I haven't
I
seen
watched it.
Just great, because it's another character that I'm just like, why aren't more people using this character? So she's got so many dirty little tricks. You know, we played with Edma and Super when she sucked, and we were annoyed at his Jury.
Yeah, so. He was good. He was good for sure.
Okay.
So anyway, that's ESGN. It has been switched to 8 o'clock Pacific time, aka 11 Eastern, and I guess like 4 a.m. Germany. But anyway, make sure you check it out. I do my quibbles with Alioun's craziness aside, I do think that it's a really cool endeavor. I like that they're responding to the community. I like the idea of playing matches against each other, and it's cool.
Yeah.
I want to see more like that.
I don't know what the name of the guy who's in charge of ESGN, but someone called him Adult Winrich. And that actually made me laugh pretty badly, because he really looks like an adult Winrich.
I don't think he's in charge of it, but he's like part of it or something. I don't know the exact. But yeah, he totally does, right?
I just thought that was hilarious.
Anyway. What else is going on?
Actually, just recently, the Smash community has actually been pretty much in a lot of the headlines in terms of just the gender equality issues and such like that. Longtime Smash player Lillian Chen, aka Milk Tea, just wrote an article kind of, talking about her experiences in the past, doing all this, her experience as a female player in the Smash community, talking about, just kind of fighting for more, equality, having women treated more normally, like not given special treatment in either direction, and
well, did she have? I haven't read it yet. Did she have any concrete examples, situations?
I mean, she talked about some stuff that she's had in the past, situations that she had in the past. Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm trying to find that blog post here, because I know I retweeted all this stuff here. So, but Yeah, let me see. I guess it's on milk-ssbm.tumblr.com.
Gotcha.
So you can go ahead and check that out over there where she talks about a lot of that. And interestingly enough, an article came out recently, like an infographic kind of thing. Let me see if I can find who made this, because I don't want to get whoever made this wrong here. Sorry about this. Let me see here. I do believe that it might have been Duran, aka D1, who did a lot of the question asking on this one, but I think someone else was the one who put up all the infographics here. But it's really cool stuff. They interviewed, I think, 53 female players who had been in the Smash community before, and oops. Yeah, here we go. So here's this cool little infographic, and so they talk about it, a lot of experience. In fact, some of the members of there who were interviewed have even, came out and talked about the fact that they were actually sexually assaulted by other Smash players in the community and stuff
Actually
like
assaulted.
that. Yeah, it's actually just straight up happened to them. And there's a lot of little things. So, I mean, it's really interesting read. I definitely recommend you guys check that out. That's on Melee It On Me. MayLayItOn.me. So check that out there. You can find the article. A lot of really neat little infographics here talking about it. The most interesting one to me, though, is that, a lot of people talked about, have they considered quitting? What was how negative, positive, or whatever like that. But still, the most interesting one to me says, number of women who said that they regret joining the Smash community was 0.
Really?
Yeah. That they've all had a really great time, that they still are super happy that they were a part of the community and such like that. So
that's great to hear.
Yeah, I think that's
got to be tough for some of them.
Definitely one of the key figures in this little article here. And also, one of the female players who was actually part of interviewed on this, she didn't actually get quoted at the bottom, and she got a little angry about that, I think. She actually comes from a very different point of view. She had her own blog post as well, talking about kind of like disagreeing with a lot of what Milk Tea had mentioned, kind of coming from a different perspective and such like that. So it's very interesting to see all the different sides of it. But this has been a huge thing that's been coming up. Prague, Winton, one of the premier commentators for Smash, he's been talking about this a lot on his Twitter and such, so it's definitely a really major issue. And I think it's important to read because, for one, I've always just believed the Melee community is part of the fighting game community, right?
Yeah.
And two, I mean, it's just so reflective of, a lot of the things that we go through in the FGC. So I think it's just a great read to read all the sides of it and such, regardless of where you come from. And, it's a big issue. It needs to be talked about, and I'm glad that people are starting to bring it up. Whether or not you agree with Lillian's articles, with her blog post that she wrote up, I think it's great that the discussion is starting, that we are starting to talk about it. I think that this is something that is a huge problem, and a lot of people are turning blind eyes towards it, and so...
Well, so again, I haven't read this, but in her piece, she had some personal anecdotes that she went through.
I don't remember if Lillian specifically had anything in her article, but
I mean, it's just that whenever this stuff comes up, oftentimes there are anecdotes, stories, things that happen, and people, and those tend to be reflected across a lot of different women, or well, this is just something that happens with everything, regardless of the situation and the group. People say this is what has happened to us on a broad level. Here's some specific examples of it, but this is what has happened to us largely. And there are always people who say nuh-uh.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
It doesn't make any sense. Like so I can't live anybody else's life. All right, I can't like switch bodies with anybody. I can't do it. So the best way that I have to understand somebody else's perspective is to listen to them about what happened to them. Like how's their life been? That's all I can do. But a lot of people somehow don't want to do that, or they think that it's illegitimate, or they just don't want to get involved, or they don't want to change whatever it is that they've been doing, and
or they minimalize it.
Yeah,
That's
they minimalize it, sure.
a very common thing to say. The reaction is, well, dude, there's like 1,000 dudes at a tournament, and you've only been sexually harassed by one person. That's such a low percentage. You know, it only takes one for it to be a horrible experience,
of course.
Right? So, like, that's not even an excuse.
Right.
So, you know, again, you know, everybody on Twitter who follows me knows that I'm very, very pro gender equality, and I do think that there's a huge problem. You know, I've been called white knight about 7,000 times, which, dude, I'm proud to wave that flag. Then, if that's what you want to call me, then that's what I am, right? But regardless of what your opinion on the situation is, I think it's so important that this conversation is getting brought up.
Sure.
It needs to be talked about, even within the fighting game community. Obviously, you know, there are, you know, rumblings of stuff that have happened, you know, and, you know, a lot of it is just kind of buried. You know what I mean? And I think that's a problem.
That is a problem.
I definitely think, you know, things need to be more exposed, and people need to talk about this more. We need to look at this. We need to fix this as a problem, because right now it's not great. It's not great. It could be worse, but it could definitely be a lot better. You know, and, you know, a lot of people also bring up the argument too that this is just the internet. This is the way society works. This is just how everything is. Yeah, it's true, but you know what? We're part of the fighting game community. I'm part of the fighting game community, so I'm going to start with where I'm at. You know, if I can try to help the fighting game community, and we can start setting good examples for other people. Yeah. I'm tired of the fighting game community being that community that everyone beats up on, and you always have to bring up the same incident year after year.
I mean, obviously, it's silly to focus on, or it's stupid to say that the FGC has problems that other communities don't, because it's stuff that runs in any community. But I think it's ridiculous to talk about to say something like, well, that's just the state of things, and I don't. Like from like a logical perspective, I feel like that's missing something. Like there's some jump in there that I don't get. There's some like if then that like there's this like space. There's like there's a line of like argument, and then there's like, well, so we can't do anything about it. That I don't know. How do you jump? Like I don't know where's the bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that's just complete nonsense to me. I wish people would stop saying that. I know that it's hard to change. It's not always easy or nice to recognize and come to grips with the fact that other people have situations that are different from yours and differ in ways that might be crappy. And that's not always easy to deal with. But, I mean, if you don't deal with it, then the world is worse, and that's just not something that is okay.
Yeah, one of the hardest things as a human being to do is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and so it's easy to discount what a lot of other people say as just poppycock.
Just don't say nah. Like
yeah.
When somebody tells you something has happened to them, that's what's happened. Probably not everybody is lying to you.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
if there's a group of people and they have a set of shared experiences, they're probably not all lying, okay? It's probably something real. It's probably some real phenomenon. It's actually happening. It's so bizarre to me that people will reject that.
Yes, and you know what? To be fair,
I don't know what to
like
tell you.
a lot of people, you know, obviously, you know, you've read the history books about the women's movement or whatever, all that stuff like that. And yeah, this has been happening for years and years and years. But to me, it's not actually a coincidence that I feel like a lot of it, not even in the fighting game community, but in every community, like this topic is becoming pervasive.
I hope so.
You know, the entire video game community has been bringing it up a lot. You can tell by like GDC and PAX Prime and PAX East, there's a lot more gender issue panels that have been coming up. Cosplays have been this is starting to become bigger in the cosplay scene. The fighting game community and the Smash community, this has been bringing up. It's happening in a lot of places right now, and I think that's true. I think it's just an indication of just the times that we are getting to another point. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, they bring up the argument, you know, how it was back then when a lot of people were against race equality, and how silly that sounds to us now.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? You know, years from now, hopefully we can get to that point where the gender issue is also sounds just as silly to us. So, yeah.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the day that, man, medical science. Medical science is so great, but at the same time, it's prolonging the lives of a lot of people who I really wish would just get out of the situation, which sucks. I
know exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
So like, when that generation is gone, which is not too long from now,
right.
I'm hoping that things will get better, and I hope. Look, I hope that I never am in that situation where the previous generation is, where the new generation thinks that they're clearly in the wrong about something, something with respect to equality. I hope that I can always be for equality. But if I'm not, then screw me. And I hope that I don't live forever and screw up the future.
Dude,
that would suck.
I mean, we've all been victims of it before. Like, when I was a kid, there was something where I just made fun of, all sorts of, I used to make fun of mentally ill people. I used to make fun
I was a
of
kid. I
Yeah,
grew up.
yeah.
I came from not a terribly diverse community. Then I went to UC Berkeley, and
Berkeley will do that.
And I grew up, right? I experienced the world a little bit. That's what should happen. That's how it should be. Even if you don't get to go to Berkeley, or even if you don't get to move or whatever, you can still find things online. You can read things. All the tools to learn and become an adult are there.
For me, all I'm just gonna say is this: what it all comes down to is, I just want to treat everybody nice. I just want to be good to everybody. That's just all it comes down for me. Yeah. I just want everybody to feel welcome and happy. So that's why I make an effort to do these kind of things. So.
Yeah, and I also want the ability to be an ass to everybody, but equally. I don't want,
I want everyone to be happy, except for the people who are sexist. They can all die in fires. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I hope that they just get to a point where they grow older, too. And,
exactly, yeah. So, I'm not coming at it from the perspective of, I've always been right about this. I'm perfect. Yeah. Of course not. Nobody is. But everybody can grow, and I hope more people do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, it's 10:01. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're done. So.
Cool.
But anything else that you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Just make sure that everybody check out Final Round this coming weekend. It'll be Friday through Sunday. The full schedule will be coming out, as Larry said earlier on the show. But definitely pay attention to Capcom Fighters channel, to Team Spooky channel, to Funky P, to Combat Network, to 645. It's going to be a great tournament. Obviously,
super exciting.
Best case scenario is to go, because this is a tournament that is definitely among the most hype.
Yes.
It's impossible to ignore all the energy that always comes out, and it's the major for a lot of people in the Southeast. So when they go, it's the tournament where they go and they expend all of their energy. This is the maximum for them. So it's an awesome tournament to attend in person. But if you can't, make sure that you catch a stream and stuff.
All the hype that was lost from Seasons beatings is definitely gone right into.
That's actually kind of true.
Yeah. So, because Seasons beatings left a hole, and I just feel like Final Round has. It's been hype every year, but it's just now it is that tournament where you just go and you get the true visceral, raw emotion of the FGC, which is awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll... Actually, I'm not going to be back in time for a show on Monday. My flight is too late.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be exhausted anyway. So.
No Monday show again! Sorry. It's not on purpose. We've just been... I got stuck in the garage and you got sick.
I'm sick right now, dude.
Hopefully we'll get back to that the weekend after. Yeah. The week after.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool. All right. Thanks for tuning in,
Have
everyone.
A good night.
Peace.